Well, Ring of Honor had their latest and last pay-per-view of 2020, Final Battle. We're going to review what really happened in this pay-per-view, but also I'm going to give you guys a special treat. Actually, I'm going to review two Japanese events, one by Dragon Gate and one by the #1 Yoshi promotion in all of Japan, Stardom. So get yourselves a popcorn and a soda. So we're going to review and discuss and talk about this on the latest episode of Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted WrestleZone, all things that is pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, let's talk about Ring of Honor's last pay-per-view of 2020. This was a very interesting pay-per-view. Reason I say that is because for the first time in a long time, we're seeing the Pure Championship on the line. And Jonathan Gresham, who is the current Pure Champion, he is putting two titles on the line. Now, you can say this to yourselves. How can he be in two competitions when he worn out? Well, that, the technical term, yes. But let's start with the first match he was involved, which was for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship, where he and his foundation member and friend, Jay Lethal, put those titles on the line against PCO and Mark Briscoe, teaming up for the first time. As you know, PCO is a World Tag Team Champion, and Mark Briscoe has been 11-time, I think, Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion. But this was a really good match, not because, how do I say, you got Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham. Basically is Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal are good as a team, but however, seeing the two different the challengers from two different teams or their own teams they've been in before or their resume, it kind of became that stand out on its own. As you know, Mark Briscoe, he's always been in the tag team title hunt with his brother Jay, but however, he was occupied with other things. But it was a good match, not gonna lie about it. Fortunately, it ended with Jay Lethal when accidentally PCO hit Mark Briscoe, costing him the titles. But luckily, there was no friction between both PCO and Mark Briscoe. I think there was mistakes on around. You got to remember, this is a team that teamed up out of the blue. When you have a tag team, that you must have good chemistry, or you've been a team for a long time. So that's one of the factors that plays out. The next match, we had Ray Horus and Dalton Castle. Now, here's certain things that you don't know that happened. Originally, in this particular pay-per-view, they were supposed to have the 6-man tag team championships on the line. The current champions consisted of the Mexi squad, consisted with Ray Horus, Flamita, and Bandito. But however, due to the protocols of the COVID-19, Bandito and Flamita were unable to compete. There were other wrestlers too, but however, Dalton Castle volunteered to put Ray Horus in the match, and even though it wasn't originally on the card, but it was a good match. I've been a big fan of Ray Horus when he was known as Dragon Azteca Jr. If you guys don't know this, Ray Horus was known as Hijo de Rey Mysterio, and he's also related to him. So basically that's what I liked about him. But it was a good match too as well. Basically, there was a lot of Dalton Castle was kind of like getting in the momentum, but however, he was losing it. But Ray Horus took advantage of it, and that's allowed him to win. Hopefully, we get to see him and the rest of the Mexi squad in action as soon as this whole thing sorted out. Next match, this was a grudge match between The Righteous Bateman and Vincent, along with Vita Von Star, against the original Kingdom members, Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. This was one of those matches that tells a story where Mike Bennett and Matt Taven want this rivalry to end, but however, Vincent doesn't want that. He always believed that Matt Taven has held him back, that he only cared about himself. And he questions Mike Bennett, returning, saying that, oh, you abandoned your brother, why are you here? Mike Bennett, if you know in this in real life, he believed his 5-year tenure in WWE was a big mistake. He believed that Ring of Honor's always been his home, and that's something we have noticed. But it was a good match. However, it did end it with Mike Bennett and Matt Taven winning the match, but it did not. But the outcome, the aftermath, was just begun. Vincent didn't care if he won or lost the match. He wants to make Matt Taven suffer, not by hurting him, but making him watch. What he does is he had Vita tie him up with zip ties, somehow that she snuck into the ring and posting him on the ring ropes and making him watch what he did. As you know, if don't know, Vincent actually broke Matt Taven's ankle with the chair with the blog, and he made him watch. He begged him not to do it, but Vincent doesn't care. He wanted to make him suffer badly, and he did. Now this rivalry is not. It seems like it's not going to end. But if I was Matt Taven, I would try to bring in backup because Vita seems to be getting involved. So this looks like this rivalry between both teams is far from over. The next match was a very interesting match. It was Brian Johnson versus Danhausen. Now, if you guys know who Danhausen, he's that creepy guy with the smile, with the paint face makeup. Well, it turns out that Brian Johnson had a problem with him, saying that he's a joke. He is not Ring of Honor material, so they gave him a stipulation. If he beats Brian Johnson, he gets a contract with Ring of Honor. Now, Brian Johnson, his entire time, he's been trying to beat him, trying to say what a joke he is, that he's going to end his tenure with Ring of Honor and make sure that fans see that he's nothing but a joke. But however, somehow Danhauser weaseled his way out to ensure he wins. He spit some teeth into the ref when Brian Johnson poured it in his mouth and not realizing what he did. But at the same time, he grabbed the mic, put the paint face makeup on it, and gave it to him. And the result, the referee turned around, saw what happened. He realized that Brian Johnson hit him, not realized that wasn't true. So Brian Johnson actually lost the match. Basically, his nightmare with Danhausen continues, even though it's so funny to see something like that. So Danhausen, he is now with Ring of Honor. Now the next is a title match. This is for the Ring of Honor World Television title. Earlier in the pre-show, we had 4 competitors that won. The winner for this one is Tony Deppen, and he will be facing the current Ring of Honor World Television Champion, Dragon Lee of La Facción Ingobernable. Now, this is one of those matches that kind of you see, okay, Dragon Lee is now embracing the Ingobernable lifestyle that you may have heard in Consejo Mundial Lucha Libre or in New Japan. So basically, that's what he's been doing. Tony Deppen did try his every best to prove that he is meant to be there and win some gold. But however, it was not enough with a guy like Dragon Lee, allowing him to win the match and retain the television title. Next match, well, I mentioned before, there were certain circumstances to made. Originally, Shane Taylor was supposed to be in a 6-man tag team match with SOS versus Mexi Squad. But however, you know what happened to Bandito and Flamita. They were out due to the COVID, and so he had nothing to do. But however, he did ended up in the match against Jay Briscoe. But Briscoe, on the other hand, he was supposed to be in a match against EC3, and surprise, surprise, EC3 also had to be pulled out due to his contact with the COVID-19. But Here's the thing. Sometimes things don't go according to plan, but however, if you book it right, then it becomes a good match. Now, this is one of those matches that was not built up, but it did show a lot of heart and a good fight. As you know, Shane Taylor is determined to prove that he can get to the top, that maybe one day he will be world champion, maybe one day face off Rush. But same thing with Mark Briscoe. But there was the time where Jay shows up. No, Mark Briscoe shows up to support Jay, and Jay actually was like getting into the whole thing. But however, the match ended in Shane Taylor's favor, and they showed a sign of respect because basically these two guys are two of the best wrestlers they currently have in Ring of Honor. Now, Mark Jay Briscoe, well, he hasn't embraced realizing that yes, he messed up, that he should have focused with his brother Mark to obtain the tag team titles. It didn't go his way, but we'll see what happens. I hate to see the Briscoes dissolve. You know, that's the last thing we might see at all. Now the next is a title match. This one is for the ROH Pure Championship. Now this is the first time Jonathan Gresham puts this title on the line, the first title defense in years. And his opponent is none other than the mercenary Flip Gordon, who, if you know his background, he's a high flyer. But however, before that, he was into MMA and ground and all that. It was, I have to say, this is one of the best matches of the night because I think now they're putting this whole pure championship thing, pure wrestling involved. It kind of makes it more unique in its own way. The match was so intense. Now, Flip Gordon, he hasn't held any Ring of Honor gold for a long time. Now, there was that one time he did hold the Ring of Honor six-man tag team titles for a short time. But that was lost to the Mexi Squad, all thanks to Nick Aldis. But that's a different story for another time. But however, the match ended when the referee called, realizing that Jonathan Gresham knocked him out without realizing it, that he was out. Flip was not happy with the result. He refused to shake his hands. I don't know. I have that feeling that he may join a faction to prove a point. I think he felt that he's being overlooked or not being treated as the top star that he should have been. Now let's get to the main event, which is for the Ring of Honor World Championship again between Brody Lee and the champion Nada Pasa. So basically we got Rush. Now it was a brutal match. Now as you know, Rush, he doesn't play by anybody's rules, especially with Ring of Honor. He's been using all sorts of things outside of the ring, like chairs, trash cans, the cables. That is the agreement that Ring of Honor put out for him. Now, it did seem like maybe Brody King could have won the title, but however, the ref was distracted with the appearance of his brother, Dragon Lee, the current Ring of Honor World Television Champion, but the surprise appearance of their dad, Bestia del Ring. So he helped his own son to ensure he wins the match. So that means we have a fourth member of la facción ingobernable. So that means Rush, Dragon Lee, Kenny King, and now Bestia del Ring. Now Kenny King couldn't be there. Same thing with him with the COVID. So that, it was pretty sweet. But however, and now it appears in Ring of Honor are hinting that we may see a possible feud. This happened right in after the match. Here comes all four members of the foundation, not impressed, not happy with the fact how Rush won the match. So we may see a stable faction feud. La Facción Ingobernable, or the LFI versus the foundation. Now this is something I would definitely invest in seeing, because you may never know what's going to happen. You got these guys who don't play by the rules versus the guys who are bringing honor back to Ring of Honor. So That's it. We'll continue more with Ring of Honor as soon as possible. Let's go with Stardom. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to talk about the number one Yoshi wrestling promotion in all of Japan. I'm talking about Stardom. Now, if you guys are not fans of this, you guys better start watching it. It's one of the most amazing promotions out of Japan. Now, if you guys are WWE fans, you should know this. Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, they all came from there. And here's another kicker. Tony Storm competed there too. So did current NXT UK star Zaya Brookside. So there have been many wrestlers who are non-Japanese, the Gaijin wrestlers, currently there. Even former AEW star uh, Bea Priestley, she was in the promotion. She was known as Top Gaijin. Even Sadie Gibbs did there too. That's how she got her start. Many female wrestlers go to Japan to train, to compete in Stardom. Stardom is the number one. Of course, there's others out there, but Stardom is the one promotion that many people talk about. And of course, Viceland actually made a documentary about them. Now, this latest event they start is well, before I move on, if you guys must know, if you're AEW fans, you ask yourself, where the hell is Rio? Well, you should know. She's currently competing in Stardom because currently she's unable to leave Japan to go to the States to compete in AEW, even though she still currently is in the roster, because it was Kenny Omega who actually got her in AEW. So we don't know when we will see Rio in AEW, but luckily, if you're a Stardom fan, she's going to be there so you guys can watch. Now, the latest event is called Road to Osaka Dream Cinderella Day 1. This one took place on December 13th. The first match was a three-way match between Lady C, Ruyuka versus Riho. Now, this is one of those matches where in three ways anything could happen. So basically, it's every girl or woman for themselves. Now, to be honest with you, I've been a bias on this one because Rio was involved, and I kind of suspected Rio was going to win, and luckily for me, it did. So she won this particular match. Now, the next match, it was a four-way match, but this time it's from all four members of a stable faction known as Oedo Tai, inconsistent with Konami, Saki Nashima, Bea Priestley, and Natsuko Taru. Now, all of this is like one of those matches, like you don't know who it will be the winner in this faction. As you know, I was kind of rooting for Bea Priestley because I'm a fan, not because she was in AEW, and also being Bea Priestley, I learned about her amazing story about her life. But, however, this match ended in a countout. But, however, what's her name? Saki was not too pleased how this match ended. It was on a countout. But, however, what's her name? What's her name again? Natsuko kind of brought a sense into Saki, letting her know, even though this match did not go exactly like they wanted it, but there'll be other opportunities. And of course, Oedo Tai is one of the most villainous factions within Stardom. So I did enjoy this one too. Even though there was no winner, hopefully we'll see another one like this down the line in the future. Now, the next match, we have another three-way. This time is between Soya Kami Tommy versus Momo Watanabe versus Utami Hayashishada. I can't even pronounce the Japanese names. Forgive me, folks. But this was a very interesting match. Now, Momo, on the other hand, in this particular, she is the Stardom Goddess champion. Basically, that's the main championship, the top one. It was a good match, but the best part I like about this, all three of these women came out in mask and they take it off. Now, I don't know why they do that, but that's why I think I like about Stardom. I don't know why they do it, but it seems obvious. It was a pretty good match and pretty good entrance. I did like it, but however, it's Momo Wanatabe who, in fact, won this match. Now, post match, Momo talks to Utami, letting her know that that she'll be teaming with her down the line. But however, Utami has her sight set on her belt, or they call it the red belt. That is something that everybody has to pay attention when it comes to watching these type of matches. And of course, there's no doubt about this is going to be a good match if I get to see it. Next match, we had a 6-woman tag team match. First team, we have the Cosmic Angels, that consistent of Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakona, Ugani Sayaki, versus faction known as the Stars, Mayu Iwatani, who is the ace of Stardom, and the last before Kairi Sane and Io Shirai left to WWE, teaming with Suya Idai and Starlight Kid. Now, this is one of those matches that was also good. I am a fan of Muya because she is the top ace uh, of the Stardom team and Stardom roster, and been the champion on multiple occasions. But however, it appears that there was a sense of rivalry between both Starlight Kid and Tam Nakano. It did seem the tensions, but however, it was the Stars that took the victory on this one. But however, post match, it did tell a story about what's going on. It appears that there was mountain tensions with Tam Nakano. It appears that she was once a member of the faction Stars. Now, she did call Starlight Girl a mascot of Stars, but in this particular match, and she was the one who picked up the victory, she's not the mascot. But however, it appears that Mayu has some history with her too. Now, Mayu did revealed that Tam Nakano's behavior was not what Stars was all about. Now, I don't know much about their history, but the way it was revealing, it tells the story. Okay, Tam Nakano had a behavior that she cannot control. Mayu did not kick her out, so Nakano made the decision to leave. But she did wants to welcome her in with open arms. But however, she is currently in a 3-women faction known as Cosmic Angels, with the other 2, with what's her name, Mina, and of course Ugani. But it ended in that way where Tam was not having it. For whatever reason, Tam Nakano, she rather not be part of Stars. So she would rather be with another group that allows her to do what she wants, however she wants. Now, I'm not saying the Cosmic Angels are a heel, or they look like a babyface team, or they just be who they are. That's how I see it. Now, we have, for the main event, it's a tag team between a faction of its own, the Donna del Mondo. First team is the tag team champions, Maika and Suri, versus Julia and Himeka. Now, Julia is in fact currently also a champion herself. Now, Micah and Suri, in fact, they kind of putting this match as a prelude before their main match, even though they're self-aware that they're going to be in a championship bout down the line before the end of the year. But it did tell the story that they're willing to determine the win to prove that they are the best tag team champions in Stardom. And frankly, that's what they did. But however, in post match, it appears that Julia and Sudi are kind of like frenemies. You're friends, but also enemies. Both of them are champions, so that's pretty much what's going on. So it was a good show. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys are want to check this out, you can look subscribe to or subscribe to Stardom. They have their own webpage. It's the similar type of way if you are subscribing to New Japan Pro Wrestling, if you're into that. If you like, you can see some clips they posted on their YouTube channel. This one may or may not be fully in it, but you may see some clips into it. So if you guys are fans of Stardom, go ahead, check it out. It's one of the amazing promotions out of Japan. Now let's end this episode with the final review of Dragon Gate Fantastic Gate. Alright, last thing we're going to review is Dragon Gate Fantastic Gate. It was a pretty good show. I'll explain one part of the show that really got to me, and I'll explain it more why. First match is a 6-man tag team match. We have the Toramon Generation, Shunji Kondo, Don Fuji, and of course, Ultimo Dragon facing off RD members Kai Diamante and Takashi Yoshida. It was a pretty good match. I did enjoy it. However, I've always been a big fan of Ultimo Dragon growing up. But however, the match ended in Toramon's victory. But however, we may see one member of RD not happy with the results. I'm talking about what's his name again? Takashi Yoshida. He did not like it. He just walked away. Even his teammates were a little concerned. Now, could this be the beginning of RD dissolving due to certain times we see them win, certain times they lose, but they lose big time? I don't know. I'll explain a little bit more on this one, what I'm referring to. The next match, we have Toramon Generation versus Dragon Gate Generation. First team is from the Toramon. We have Kagetora teaming with Sashihoko Boy versus Jimmy and Keisuke Okuda. Now, this is one of those matches where it was pretty good. As you know, you got the Toramon always proving themselves. They are the true generation since they were part of the beginning before Dragon Gate was Dragon Gate. But however, Kagetora picked up the victory. But this time in this match, it showed that he is interested in facing Okuda for the Open the Brave Gate Championship. Now, this is one of those times, okay, who will be facing who's going to be challenging Okuda for the title. His last opponent was the previous champion, the guy he beat for the title, Ishida, on 2 different occasions. One, when he beat him for the title, and Ishida claimed lost due to the fact that he refused to say, I did not quit, I did not tap out or anything, but he lost big time. So we may see a championship on this one in their last pay-per-view called Final Gate. That's going to take place on the 20th of December. Now, this one is one of my favorite matches. We have Team Boku, Punch Tominaga, and Naruki Doi. Now, before they advanced, they were doing this little comedy promo thingy. I was like thinking, okay, what's happening? As you know, there's no English commentary that very much in Dragon Gate. It's not like New Japan or at all. But however, they'd introduced someone as a new character. If you guys don't know what I'm referring to, I'm talking about Shimizu. Now, Shimizu had his problems in the past since he was kicked out of RD and formed Team Boku with Doi and Punch. He introduced himself as Boku Timo Dragon. It's a parody of Ultimo Dragon. I loved the whole thing. It was so amazing. I laughed. I feel like Team Boku is now my new favorite faction to watch. And they were facing against Dragon Gate Generation members Yusuke Santamaria and Yamato, teaming with a non-faction member named Gamma. The match was so cool. I enjoyed it. Not to mention when Santamaria was trying to get under the skin of Bokutimo Dragon, but it ended in his favor. He did exactly the same moves that Ultimo Dragon did. Now, however, while they were all celebrating, here comes Ultimo Dragon. Now, he doesn't know what to make of it. Boku Timo, he was, in the other hand, like embracing the fans, and then when he turned around and saw it's Ultimo Dragon who's calling me. Now, you don't know what to expect with a guy like Ultimo Dragon. Now, like I said, there was no translator, but I can try to guess the expressions. As you know, you might have thought, okay, he may be a little upset with this, but however, the way they were speaking, it appears that Ultimo is embracing him to, okay, I'll let you. I give you my blessing. You know, you can go with this parody of me. I don't mind. You know, as long as you're fighting against RED. So basically, as you know, Bogutimo was a member of RED until he was kicked out. So basically, it's like, okay, but it was funny. I mean, I enjoyed this match a whole lot. I have to say, this is one of my favorite matches to enjoy, and I loved it. So. Now, the next match we have a singles competition with Susuyoki Suka versus from a member of the new faction known as Masquerade La Estrella, who is run by Shun Skywalker. Now, this match, you have no idea what La Estrella is all about. Basically, from what I understand, this La Estrella is a new wrestler who just made his appearance. Nobody knows who he is, where he came from. But I have to say, he did show a good impression on this one against a guy like Susumu. And, you know, he looks like he's the guy who's really is meant to be in Dragon Gate. And I'm pretty much really impressed. And I'm open to see what this guy's all about. Next match we have is a 8-man tag team match with a rival grudge on this one. We have Toramon Generation, Genki Origuchi, Sushi Kanda, Dragon Kid, and Masato Yoshino facing off against ROED members Keito Ishida, newest member, part of the class of 2020, Hip Hop Kituda, SB Kento, and Aita. Now, if you guys follow RAD, these guys will do whatever it takes to win, even if they have to cheat. Now, however, Toramon was able to hold her own. But however, they weren't going to tolerate with RAD's shenanigans, so they decided to use a little trick out of their playbook, and they whacked someone, Aita, in the back with it, and allowing Toramon to win this match. But however, post-match, now, again, I don't know what they talked about. I don't know what they were saying in Japanese. But however, from the expression of SB Kento, it looked more like SB Kento thinks what they did was cheating. However, keep in mind, RAD cheats a lot. That's what they do. That's how their MO is. So this rivalry between both Toramon and RAD has been going further and further and furthermore. But it did reveal later that in Final Gate, there's going to be a match, a very stipulation match between both teams. It will be RED versus Tormund. Now here's the stipulate. It will be a no disqualification match. The losing team will be disbanded, either RED or Tormund. Now, why is the stipulation set up? You probably ask yourselves. Reason is, Eita, the leader of RED, he knows about Tormund, what they do. He looks at them. That name is a thing of the past. When Ultimo Dragon returned, he felt that Ultimo Dragon is a threat. He should not have come back and try to reshape Dragon Gate under his way. And that's when this whole generational war. You have RED who are determined to win, to conquer the entire Dragon Gate promotion. You got Tormund who are the first ones, and then Dragon Gate who stepped up to continue the legacy of what Dragon Gate is today. So that particular match will take place in Final Gate on December 20th. I hope I get to see it because it's going to be interesting to see which team will be disbanded, Tormund or RD. But however, I did speculate after what happened earlier in that event with Yoshida losing in that 6-man tag with Diamante and Kai. Could this be a sign that maybe, just maybe, a possibility of already disbanded? Well, we won't know until we see it or hear about it. So, let's move on. The next match is a tag team match between Masquerade and Dragon Gate Generation. For Masquerade, we have Dragon Kid and the current Open the Dream Gate champion, Shun Skywalker, facing off against KZ and Ben K, who Ben K is the current challenger to face Shun Skywalker. Now, it did show before the match starts, Ben K received the key as the challenger. Now, for all of you guys who don't know what Dragon Gate, if you're facing the Open the Dream Gate champion, the challenger is giving a key. It's kind of like you're opening the key to a world. That's what they see when you win the Open the Dream Gate championship. Now, however, if the challenger loses the match, the challenger must place his key in the bar in front of the title. And that's like a trophy in any way possible when it comes to this type of particular title. Now, the match itself was good. It did show a lot of how Shun Skywalker is showing that he's changed, adapted, and his craft has changed since he went on excursion last year. And he was determined to show that he is here to stay. Now, he's been that one guy in the roster that he's determined to succeed, but he felt that everyone or anybody who, whatever faction, has held him back. But this time, forming his own, winning the title, and also forming his own stable faction, made a play on that one. But it did allow him to pick up the victory. But however, this rivalry between both Shun and Ben K may be coming into a fruition since they both known each other when they both either were kicked out or left their respective factions about, what was it, a year ago. Now let's get to the main event. This one is called a Doi Darts special match. Basically, in this type, you got different people, different wrestlers from different factions. Now, here's the first team. First team representing Tormund, we have K-Ness and Ryu Sato, who's also a member of Team Boku. Kota Minoura, who is a member of Masquerade. And then we have 2 members of RAD, Dai Inferno and BB Hulk. Now here's the second team. We have Masaki Mochizuko, who is not affiliated with any team, but he's one of the veterans in the faction. Then we have another member of Tormund, King Cheeto Era, Masquerade member Jason Lee, RAD member Kazuma Sakamoto, and non-affiliated member and most interesting character Konomama Ichikawa. Now, this is more like a scramble match type, but however, it was good because basically there are moments where RAD will not face each other because they treat itself like a band of brothers. But I have seen Jason Lee and Kota Minoura, who both are part of the Masquerade faction with Shun Skywalker. They faced off. Same thing with the guys from Toramon or anybody else. So that's one of the things I do like about this faction, about these teams. But however, which team wins? Well, it's the team of Mochizuko, Arya, Lee, Sakamoto, and Ichikawa. So they ended up winning this match. But however, once the match was over, as you know, Die Inferno, what's his name? BB Hulk, and of course, Kazuma Sakamoto are back being the R&D guys we know. So this rivalry between these guys with R&D is far from over. But these guys, I don't know what they said in Japanese, but it seems like they're here to have fun, and they're here. Hopefully they get rid of R&D once and for all. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode, me talking about Dragon Gate and Stardom. Now, I hardly talk about these promotions because I don't subscribe to any of these guys, but I do have one of those links where I can watch their shows whenever they're posted up. If you guys want to know what it is, just leave me a comment down and I can tell you what link it is so you guys can see these events whenever they come up. So hopefully you guys get to see it too. So for now, I must bid all of you guys adieu. So goodbye. Mwah! And have a nice day. Bang!
Are you ready?